Other than food and water, what would you say is the most important stockpile item that you can have? We've talked precious metals, we've talked even cash. When we hear about digitizing our money, some of those things kind of go out the window. We've talked about bartering items, but what would you say is the most important other than food and water that you can barter and prep? It would be stockpiling these, ammo. Now we're going to talk about certain calibers that we like to stockpile. We're going to talk about the reasons of stockpiling and then the reasons that we have the stockpiles that we have. So today's video is going to be good. It's going to be a lot discussed, and hopefully it will help you decide what's best for you and your family to make sure you're safe, you defend, and that you can take care of the needs that you have. Today's video is going to be a good one, guys, and it starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so much for being here today. If you're new to our channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell. I want to let you know that over the next few weeks, we are trying to get to 200,000 subscribers. The benefit of that to you is when you subscribe, it doesn't cost you anything, but we're going to be doing a giveaway of thousands of dollars worth of merch and goods. From Hollow Point Coffee Company, for a monster gift certificate to Harvest Right. We're also going to be doing several seed giveaways, clothing giveaways. I mean, it's just so much, even down to the solar generator. So you need to be subscribing to our channel and be looking for that coming up. We're going to be talking about how we're going to give those things away, especially as we get close to 200,000. So just a little tidbit there. So subscribe down here, give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, but let us know what you think about this video and if it helps you or if you have different thoughts on what to stockpile here when it comes to ammo. It's been in the news lately that we see our president pushing against some gun control issues, and this has been something, a pretty big talking point for the Democrats and the left for a while now. Do I believe that you need to know how to be safe and secure with firearms? Absolutely. You don't need to not know what you're doing when it comes to the calibers that you have, the ammo that you have, but also the firearms that you have. There's 4 reasons I believe that you should be stockpiling ammo. And when we talk about ammo, you have to have the firearms, and you need to make sure that you're buying the calibers that matter. So we're going to talk about the 4 reasons to stockpile, and then we're going to talk about 5 different calibers that I think that you should have. And if you don't have, at least have 1 or 2 of these, but we're going to talk about the reasons I say these 5. Okay, so number 1, of course, ammo prices are going up. We have seen over the last 3 to 4 years, really back in 2016 to 2018, you could pick up a box of ammo pretty cheap. No matter what caliber you were using, unless you were using a monster round. You could pick up practice rounds and even some hollow point for a pretty good price. We've seen that just skyrocket over the last 2 or 3 years. Now we've seen some fluctuation, it come back down, but ultimately it's still higher than what it was year over year. So when we talk about investing in important things and stockpiling important things, we want the things that we're investing in that it goes up in value. So we think about our money and it's going down in value. We think about some of the things that we buy that's depreciating, it's not worth it. When we talk about food, the inflation prices of it and making the food be an investment because it's not getting any cheaper, well, ammo could be the same way. Making sure you have a good quality surplus of ammo because it does go up in value and it's a good investment to have. Now, why do I say that? That brings up to point 2. Point 2 would be it's a good bartering agent. Now, I know I get a lot of kickback when I say that. I'm not saying you need to be trading ammo or selling ammo to anyone, and I wouldn't even say I want people to even know my stockpile of ammo. But what I am saying is all of a sudden, if we have an economic situation or chaos, all of a sudden we go to a digitized dollar, all of a sudden we have to find other ways and means to be able to feed our family and take care of our community, then ammo is going to be a bartering agent. We talk about precious metals. Well, you can't be more precious than having a piece of brass or a piece of lead, sometimes more than even gold and silver. So it's going to be a great item that you can have because ammo can do so much. It can defend and take care of us, but also be able to feed us. It's very important. Now, I don't want anyone to know my stockpile. I don't want anyone to know that I'm going to barter ammo. What I am saying, though, it is something to think about because it's going to be worth a lot more as we see a digitized currency and as we see people are in need. Ammo goes up in value. It's a great investment. Also, it could be a great bartering agent. Thirdly is ammo is in shortage. And what I mean by that is if you've went to a pawn shop or if you went to a big box store and you're buying ammo, there's some rounds that you're going to be looking for, especially over the last few years, that you can't find. So it's important to make sure that you are stockpiling because there may be a time where you can't find the calibers that you're looking for. I think back to Dick's Sporting Goods and Walmart. Some of those places are not stockpiling ammo anymore, and then the ones they are stockpiling are not the common rounds that you would be using unless you are doing just hunting. Well, hunting is a great part of having firearms and is very, very important, and we're going to be talking about that. But we also need other rounds and other calibers and other ammo for obvious reasons of self-defense, for taking care of our family, and being able to defend our home. So we see a lot of big box stores pushing against keeping ammo. So we go into what we call an ammo shortage, which of course makes the price go up. Or if you're looking for certain rounds like 223 or 9mm, it may not be as available as what you can like a 350 Legend. So what I mean by that is there may be some more uncommon rounds that you can find. But for instance, I've been looking for some just 410 slug shells, and it's been hard to find. Now they're starting to come back around and we're starting to be able to pick those up, but you'd be surprised how hard it was just to find your common rounds for common guns. So make sure that when you are stockpiling ammo that you're doing the calibers that you need and keep them in excess, but understanding that shortages are real when it comes to ammo. And it may not be the fact that they're in shortage, it may be the fact of the manipulation of the market from whatever big box store you may have been purchasing from. So if you're able to purchase, especially from local providers, especially for gun shops that believe in your Second Amendment right, I definitely challenge you to pick up some boxes of ammo and make sure you're picking up the ones tend to use the most. We did a video on stockpiling the other day about how much to have. You can go back and watch that, what I think you need to have per caliber, and for per rounds, how many you need of each, depending on what kind of guns you have. Fourth, this is going to be a touchy one, but the reason I say you need to stockpile is because your government is stockpiling. We see the IRS agents, the 87,000, we see them purchasing massive loads of firearms and ammo. We see all these other three-letter government agencies doing the same thing. Now, do I believe that our government needs to be strong in defense? Absolutely, but not against its people. So when I think about stockpiling ammo, I don't want to use it for any other reason other than hunting and self-defense of our home. I think it's wise because if we see that our government is stockpiling, and it may be one-sided where they're not happy with opposing parties, no matter what party's in power, it's always good to keep the government in check. That is what the Second Amendment was about. Now, do I want to use any of that ammo for that? No, absolutely not. I want to see a revival in our country and us turn back to Christ. However, I think it's smart, as number 4, to stockpile because the government is stockpiling. Stockpile because everybody else is stockpiling. You don't want to be the only ones without firearms and calibers and ammo to be able to use. We see this in our liberal cities, and we see this in some states passing major gun control laws where the bad guys and people who are getting the guns off the street are going to keep on doing that. If we take our firearms and our ammo away from the good people because of law and regulation, then they're going to be like sitting ducks. And that's not good for anybody. So you need to be stockpiling for these 4 reasons, making sure that you are taking care of your family. Now let's jump into 5 calibers that I think you should have, and also kind of where you can put your ammo. Number 1, I would challenge you to have a nice pistol that you can utilize as kind of your everyday carry. We would consider our 9mm. Now we have a few of those, but my favorite would be the P365 SIG. That is one I like to carry, but it is a 9mm. It has a good bit of capacity in the magazine, but also a great little firing pistol. 9mm is one of those things I stockpile pretty regular. I believe it's a good economic round, one that tends to be made by several companies, which is another good thing. If you're purchasing these off-kilter and these crazy style firearms and they don't have a lot of makers of the ammo, then it's going to be harder for you to find that ammo. So make sure that you are purchasing a good quality gun, but also making sure you're getting a common round for your everyday carry. 9mm would be where it is. I like a SIG, I like a Ruger. Both of those are very good. I actually have a Springfield Hellcat that I like a lot. I don't like to carry it as much because it does get a little bulky. I know Glocks are very popular to a lot of people, but I would challenge you to have a 9mm round. It's always good for self-defense and an everyday carry. Number 2 would be a hunting round. So I would say a bigger hunting round for a bigger game. Now, personally, I like a 30-30, but I'm not talking about that size grain and that size caliber. I would almost move up to like a 308. We have two of these, and these are bolt action. These are great hunting rounds. It can take down anything from a hog all the way up to a deer and probably even closer to an elk or a bigger animal. So having a nice hunting rifle is key because that is how we feed our family. If it gets to the point where we're in a digitized market or we see the manipulation of meat, we've seen this week there was a story that came out that what would save you money is to eat less meat. Try cutting meat out one day of your diet. It was on a big organization about saving money, but really what it was a manipulation of your meat. Also, we're seeing Petri dish chicken, Petri dish beef being made daily in these big multi-billion-dollar industries now that is trying to get you to eat less meat. Especially the ones like the big game and hunting and of course go down to beef and all that. So having a good hunting round to be able to harvest deer, to be able to harvest other animals. My son actually hunts with a 308. I like a 30-30 because it's smaller and I can carry it a little bit easier, but again, I would say go back to a bigger round for hunting. I would say 308 would be a good round to be able to have. It's not too big, not too small, seems just right. Now, honorable mentions there, if you're like me, I like a 30-30, I like a 243, I like a 270. All those are very good rounds for hunting. The 308, the reason we're leaning towards that one because it is a little bit bigger round. Again, a very common round too, and you'll be able to knock down just about anything that you are trying to harvest. Number 3, the caliber I would say that you would want to pick up would be a 410. Now, this is what I call like a rodent or a varmint gun. A 410 is just a smaller shotgun that will allow you to usually have, it's really small, usually you can find like a youth model. You can use it for waterfowl, you can use it for turkeys, you can use it to hunt, but more than that, say you have a infestation problem with rodents, say you have a rodent issue getting to your feed, maybe you're trying to keep something out of the garden, maybe it's just something that you can have around to take care of the rodents and vermin that sometimes just bother the mess out of us around the house. 410 is great for that. Now, another option for 410 is looking at something like at the Governor or the Judge. Both of those are guns. I think Taurus makes the Judge. I think Smith & Wesson makes the Governor. I don't know. I can't remember. I have a Judge. It's a pistol that's a revolver, but is able to shoot 410 slugs as well, or 410 ammo. It's a very powerful little revolver. You can shoot 2 different ammos out of it, but 410 would be another round that you can go through with the Governor or the Judge. So if you have a pistol and you want to look at a revolver and a big high-powered revolver, that's a good option. But I would challenge you to look at the Handy rifle for 410 for vermin, for just taking care of the rodents around your property. It's a smaller caliber to be able to use. It's a cheaper round. Go ahead and grab it and stockpile this ammo. Number 4 would be a common 22 or a 22 Magnum. Now, we have both of these rounds. A 22 Magnum will do whatever you want it to do pretty much. It can even hunt. I'm just talking about a typical 22. We have a little Henry 22. It's a little lever action, almost like a little Western gun. I enjoy it. If we're looking for just practice and plinking and a cheap way to teach your children how firearms work, or an enjoyable sport to be able to get into. Aiden, my son, got into shooting sports with 4-H and he shot this 22. It's a fun little gun to have. I know Ruger makes a good version of this. The Henry's a great version. Both of these are options to have, again, for just simple rodents and just a cheap ammo to enjoy plinking and practicing with. We need to get comfortable with firearms, so instead of shooting your 308 or instead of shooting some round that costs a lot of money, to get used to shooting and also to get comfortable with guns, a 22 is a great beginner's gun for you as an adult, or also some of your older children. Let them understand the importance of firearms, and 22 is a great option there. They make 22 pistols. All those are great too. I would stick with just a simple rimfire little rifle. Again, the Henry is a great one to have. It's just a little lever action 22. I think it'd be wise to have one of those. And ammo is very cheap, so you can stockpile this, and again, something fun to do, practice with, and be able to utilize it for the rodents and the vermin as well. And number 5 is the one that everybody tends to talk about the most, which is the AR-15. We see the little 223 here. We like the 223 round. We like the ARs. We have maybe more than one of these firearms, but it's good to have, not only for self-defense, but also for enjoyment. 223 is, it is not a monster round, really at all. Can travel a long distance, 55 grain, so it's not like it's, you know, high powered like a 308 or even a 30-30. It can still have the knockdown power to take down anything you want it to, but I would say more of a self-defense and also for a quick reaction to have a semi-auto in your home. Now this is the one that everybody tends to push against. A lot of politicians don't like to see this AR, or they talk about AR-15s as needing to be banned because they're dangerous. Well, you know, anything that you have can be dangerous. It depends on who is the one that's actually holding the bat, who's ever holding the knife, or whoever's holding the firearm. These things can be used for wrong, or they can be used for right. So I would challenge you to have an AR-15 if you can still find them. They tend to be a little bit more pricey now. It tends to be something that they're going to work to try to get off. Luckily, you know, the Republicans picked up the House, which would hopefully hold back on some gun control issues. But please understand that you're starting to see this in states, you're starting to see this in different nations and countries. People are losing their rights of firearms, and AR-15 is going to be the one that they're going to push for the most, or anything in AR platform. Now, when people say AR, that doesn't mean assault rifle. That means Armalite, which is one of the original manufacturers of AR-15. So don't let, when people say, well, you know, we want to ban AR-15s because they're assault rifles, they're a semi-auto, and yes, they can be, if they're not used right, they can be very dangerous. But so can anything else, and any other firearm, and any other defense mechanism. A taser can be bad. We've seen this. So please understand to respect guns, but AR-15 is a good gun to have, a good ammo to have. Usually the 223 is very economical. You can pick up these bullets for pretty cheap. Now they have went up lately because the firearm itself has went up too. But it's a good round to pick up a good bit of ammo and make sure you're stockpiled. This is a defense round, a self-defense round to take care of your home. If we get into a point where we have to defend our home, this is a good round, very good round. Make sure your ammo is in cool, dark places. Make sure you have ammo cans. We also keep oxygen absorbers in our ammo cans. We don't put our ammo with our guns. That is a safety precaution, and also our guns stay in a safe that is locked up with a keyed passcode, and it's very important. Now, I don't even keep them all in there because, again, like we've told you, we don't want to put all our preps in one place. That's the same way it comes with ammunition and firearms. We want to make sure that we are taking care of our family and spreading our preps out, and this is, again, one of those things. But ammo can be stored for years, and it can last for years, but you need to keep it in a cool, dark place. Keep it in room temperature, so don't keep it out in some shed where it gets 4 seasons and it goes from freezing to hot, because it's going to rust your ammo. Also keep oxygen absorbers in your safe, in your gun safe, and also in your ammo cans. Make sure your ammo cans are dark. You don't want your ammo being in a plastic container that has a lot of light going to it. A lot of the things that we talk about when stockpiling, it even comes down to food. Light and UV rays and keeping temperature the same. All those things are kind of go hand in hand with food and with ammo, and with a lot of the stockpile items that we talk about. A lot of our things and a lot of our preps in rooms that does not have windows and natural light, that could be under beds, that can be in closets, that can be in laundry rooms, that can be just wherever it is in your home that's important. Don't put all your preps in one place. Don't put all your stockpiles in one place. You may want to keep some ammo in this area, in this area. Make sure you can access it if you need to. So we talked about 4 reasons to stockpile ammo. We talked about 5 calibers that we like the most, and now I would not hold yourself to just buying those 5. You know, if you're like me, I want to make sure I understand a lot about different ammos and a lot about different firearms and calibers. But these 5 are ones that I like the most. Make sure you're putting your ammo in safekeeping, because this is an investment, and this could be something that can take care of us for a long, long time, along with food and water. Don't be intimidated by firearms. Don't be intimidated by different rounds. You're not going to learn everything about them unless you're a gun enthusiast. I'm not a gun enthusiast, but at the same time, I do know that I do respect firearms and ammo, and I do understand the importance of having them. I know there's a lot of people that watch us in different countries that cannot get ammo and firearms now. So take their advice, and it may be a time where they outlaw these things and you're not able to have them. The importance of prepping, stockpiling, and homesteading is to take care of our families, to be wise in decisions that we make. So take this into consideration. Think about some of these calibers and think about how they could benefit you and your homestead in your home, taking care of your family. All these calibers are very common and can be picked up pretty good and pretty accessible. A lot of these are not major expensive rounds. Let me know in the comments below what calibers are your favorite, which rounds you like to shoot the most. Give people other options. I talked about 5 here, very generic, but there may be ones that you like more. I try to be very conscientious and smart. I'll also try to pick up ammo with cash. I try to make sure I buy it from local providers to where I can get my firearms, I can get my ammo, places I trust. And to be honest with you, what's good about that, if you build that relationship with a local provider, what happens is when some of that ammo comes in that you've been looking for, and some of those calibers and certain rounds that you've been looking for, if they come in, then you have maybe an access to say, he or she will call you and say, hey, I have some of these rounds if you're interested. So build those relationships, because this is something that you need to be stockpiling and having for safety and to take care of your family. Guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless. Happy homesteading, y'all.